This morning it wasn't the light that reached me first. It was the sound. A small robin in my garden. My little new friend. Not loud, not demanding, but precise. Its song moves through the space in a way that feels intentional, adjusting to the air, to the trees, to the distance it needs to travel. High tones catching on leaves, softer ones carrying further, each note placed so it can reach. And standing there, you begin to notice something. It's not just a sound, it is a transmission. Because when you really listen, you don't just hear it, you feel it. Moving through the air, and at the same time through you. And maybe this is where we've forgotten something. That nature doesn't only communicate in ways we can measure. It communicates through frequency, through vibration, through resonance. And we are not separate from that. We are part of it. Spring does not arrive with announcement or spectacle. It begins almost quietly with movement. Out there now among the first open blossoms, the bees have already begun. Moving from flower to flower, gathering nectar. Something so simple, it's almost nothing. Mostly water. A trace of sugar. Fragile, fleeting, easy to overlook. And yet within the bee, something begins to change. Enzymes breaking it down, transforming it. Back in the hive, the process continues, passed from one to another, refined, reduced. Wings moving steadily, drawing out the moisture, until what was once thin becomes something else entirely. Honey, dense, golden, something that lasts. But no single bee does this alone. A hive is cooperation in its purest form. Everything connected, everything responsive. Nothing held back, nothing separate. Each bee moving in relation to the others, creating something far greater than any one of them could ever do alone. And while they do this, they carry pollen from one flower to another, linking entire systems together. Forests, fields, food, life itself, depending on this quiet, continuous moment. And even the flowers are not passive in this. They respond. Many of them require vibration to release what they hold. The bee arrives, and through the frequency of its wings, the flower opens in a way it otherwise would not. Not forced, not taken, but met. A shared exchange. A language of vibration. This is how spring begins. Not as a moment, but as a process. A gradual awakening built from countless small interactions. And perhaps that is what can be felt right now. Not something sudden, but something already in motion. The bees knew first. And then we begin to see it. The white snowdrops pushing through cold ground, catching the earliest light. Then the yellow crocuses, daffodils, the landscape beginning to respond. And over time, these don't just return, they expand. Year by year, spreading into wider carpets of white and yellow. Windflowers, errantes, reaching further, building on what came before. Not new, continuing. Then come the warmer tones, orange, gold, strength settling into the landscape, growth holding, deepening. And now here in April, something shifts again. Blue, purple, a more complex base, a deeper expression. These colors guide pollinators with precision, drawing them in through patterns we don't even see. At this stage, the system is no longer just waking up. It is organizing, expanding, becoming something more. And we are inside this, whether we realize it or not. Our rhythms shift with it. Light changes us, movement returns. Something that was still begins to move again. And yet we continue to separate between countries, between people, between what we understand and what we don't. Even life itself, we divide into beginnings and endings. We say something starts and then it stops. That someone is here and then they are gone. But nothing in nature suggests that. Everything continues. The sun returns. The moon cycles. The stars move beyond a single lifetime. And spring does not begin from nothing. It returns. The same flowers come back, not identical, but connected. Each year expanding, growing, becoming more. Nothing is lost. It changes form. It continues. And maybe what we call an ending is just a point where we stop following it. Not because it's gone, but because we haven't learned how to stay connected to it. And then, in the middle of all this, something small. The robin. Still there, returning, watching, not rushing with everything else, not pulled into the moment, but present within. Even when the air shifts, even when nothing feels settled, it stays. And that might be the part we need to remember. Because spring is not certainty. It's movement within uncertainty. Life beginning before everything is secure. Growth happening anyway. The flowers open. The bees move. The robin returns. And something connects through all of it. If you slow down enough, you can feel it. Not as a thought, but as something real. A resonance between you and what is alive around you. And in that space, something else becomes possible. Experiences that don't quite fit into what we've been taught. Moments that feel more. Not separate from nature, but because of it. April feels like that kind of moment. Not the beginning, not the end, but a point where something deepens, where what has started begins to take form. The bees are already in it. The flowers are expressing it. The robin is right there in the middle of it. And we are too. So go outside, not to watch, but to be there. Stand still, listen. Let it reach you, because it already is. Something has begun, and it is continuing. The question is whether you will meet it. Stop telling yourself you are separate from it. Stop separating yourself from the reality of life. Because when you stop separating, your vibration shifts and connection becomes possible again. You have to try, don't you? Stay kind and shine your light. you.